Hi guys, today's Pandas interview question is that how do we perform basic checks on the data set that we get? So, the moment we get the data set, it's necessary that we should do a basic sanity checks on that data set or data frame for that matter, so that we can get an initial insights about the data, that how that data is and how does it behaving. So in just like 3 to 4 steps or 3 to 4 lines of code, we can get lots of intuition about the data. Let's see how do we do it. So for that, I'll take my diabetes data set. So first I'll say for Pandas as PD, and then I'll take the DF PD dot read underscore CSV. And in this, I need to take the file. So let me just copy the file path from the Google Drive, which I have already mounted in my Colab. Here it is. Path. There you go. That's my data frame DF. Let me have a look to it. So the first look that I am going to do with the data frame in hand is the head command. So whenever you say data frame and you say head, it means that you are asking the system to display the first 5 rows. So it's a very good practice that usually the moment you get the data set, you do the head. The reason is sometimes the data set is quite large and the system doesn't have enough bandwidth to display all the rows. So it's better that you use dot head so that you are only getting first 5 rows of the data frame. And the moment you do head, you get these columns. And as you could see that it has pregnancies, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetes, pedigree function, age, and outcome. So these are my predictors, and this is my target. Okay. So does when I do df dot tail, it's going to show me the last 5 rows of the data frame. Yeah, it took some time. And same thing, same output, but this time the last 5 rows of the data frame. And after that, for the sanity basis, we do data frame dot info, which tells the some basic information about the data set, like how many total number of data points are there. That is 768. And not just that, it tells that for each column, how many non-null values are present. So for pregnancy, we could see 768, glucose 768, blood pressure 768. If there would have been any null value, it would have been displayed over here because we could have understood that some part is missing from this entire data. And also it will tell that what is the corresponding data type of individual columns. So we see that every columns is numeric type and BMI and diabetes pedigree function is float. And the fourth basic check that we do with the data frame is df dot describe. And df dot describe basically tells what is the mathematical calculations or statistical calculations of all the numeric columns present in the data set. So as you could see that in that statistical, it says about the mean, the standard deviation, the min value, the first quartile or the 25th percentile, the second quartile or the 5th percentile or the median, the third quartile or the 75th percentile, and the maximum value. So here we could see clearly that the mean value for pregnancy is 3.84, standard deviation is 3.3, minimum is 0, and maximum is 17. In glucose, the mean value is 120, the standard deviation is 31.97, and to my surprise, over here, the minimum value in glucose is 0. So we know with our domain knowledge in the medical that nobody can have a 0 glucose level in their body. So with this describe check, we could immediately get to know that there is an anomaly in our data set. And not just that, if you could look at the blood pressure, we could see that here it is minimum 0. So nobody can have a 0 blood pressure. So does for skin thickness, insulin, and BMI. So there are lots of 0 values present for each and every column, which we know that it's not possible. More or less, we do for standard deviations also, because if we see that the standard deviation is 0 for any column, it means that the value is not deviating from its mean. It's the same value, redundant value coming on and on for the column. So in that case, we just remove or drop that column from the data set. So these were the basics checks that we did: describe, info, head, and tail of the data set. Okay, thank you.